So the Grammys were last night, and I don't give a fuck, because fuck modern music. Bunch of fucking whiny pussies singing about love like they know what the fuck love is. We used to look to William Shakespeare for the answer to the question, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. But fuck the Bard. We just have to go back a generation, and we were looking to Kurt Cobain. A generation before that, it was Jim Morrison or John Lennon. We used to know that love is complicated. It's painful sometimes. Sometimes love just makes you feel like you want to fucking die. But you don't see any of that reflected in modern pop music. It's a bunch of feel-good bullshit. The only time it touches upon the darker aspects of love, the sadness that can come with loving another human being, it's also equally generic. It's like, my baby's here and everything is good, or it's, my baby's gone and I'm really sad. That's all the fuck you got. It's like we've been reduced to this dumb, dim-witted fucking George Orwell double plus good, double plus ungood fucking dichotomy when it comes to music. It's like, I'm happy, I'm sad. That's all the fuck we got. You have any emotions in between? Anything more complicated than that? Sorry, nothing for ya. No oasis in this fucking desert. So you know what? Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, Adele, or whatever the fuck your name is, Katy Perry, all you fucking assholes, you suck, and your fucking music sucks, and you should be ashamed. But even though I didn't watch the stupid fucking Grammys, I still had to hear about them. On Twitter, on Tumblr, on Facebook, all these places that I don't really want to be, yet always am. Mostly what I heard was Chris Brown. Isn't it just fucking awful? Isn't it just awful that Chris Brown would show his face after what he did? After he beat poor Rihanna, how dare he come back and do his little dance and sing his little song, and how dare people applaud him? How dare they? Every fucking 2 seconds on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, everywhere you fucking go, Chris Brown's a scumbag, Chris Brown's a piece of shit, Chris Brown's a piece of shit, Chris Brown's a piece of shit. Fine! He's a piece of shit! Leave me alone! I don't fucking care! And then, there's the other side of the equation. There's the girls who not only defend Chris Brown, not only forgive Chris Brown, but kind of find themselves a little bit turned on by what Chris Brown did. Here are some of their tweets. I'd let Chris Brown beat me up anytime. Wink. Everyone shut up about Chris Brown being a woman beater. Shit. He can beat me up all night if he wants. Not gonna lie, I'd let Chris Brown beat me. I don't know why Rihanna complained. Chris Brown could beat me anytime he wanted to. Dude, Chris Brown can punch me in the face as much as he wants to, just as long as he kisses it. Smile. Sorry. What? Wah? Okay. You know, the internet has a great deal of admonition for these girls, and it's not very hard to see why. But, you know, to be fair, beating your lover is okay if it's, you know, consensual. I'm into the whole BDSM scene, you know? Every once in a while, the paddle comes out, the whips, the chains, the bondage mask, all that crazy stuff. So there's certain scenarios where beating is okay. But when you're talking about a guy who punches his girlfriend repeatedly in the face during an argument, that's a very different kind of beating. Because it's not like Rihanna's like, oh baby, punch me in the face, and he's like, okay. No, she was like, ow, that hurts, please stop. And he continued. So you see the difference, right? You get why Rihanna complained now, don't you? Don't you, girlies? Work with me here. I'm trying to give you some fragment of the benefit of the doubt. I won't even get into the tweets from the people who don't know who fucking Paul McCartney is. Because if I even attempted to discuss that, I think I would take the entire world in my hands somehow and just crush it. I don't know how I'd do it, but I feel that if I even began to discuss that, it would happen, and everyone would die. And that's not a good thing. But here's a funny thing about the whole Chris Brown debacle. The internet despises Chris Brown, hates him, shows infinite contempt because of what he did. And yet, this is the very same week that the internet found a brand new hero, a man that we could all look up to. I refer, of course, to this man, the guy who took out a .45 caliber handgun and shot his daughter's laptop repeatedly because she had the fucking audacity to post complaints about her parents on Facebook. Oh my God! Teenagers posting complaints about their parents on Facebook! It's madness! What happened to the morals of this generation? What's next? She'll start dancing. Maybe she'll even bring home a black boy. Seriously, I mean, she hid the Facebook post so that her parents wouldn't see it, and they found it anyway. Isn't reading a Facebook post that was intentionally hidden from you kind of like going through someone else's journal or diary or whatever the fuck you want to call it? Isn't that just a little bit fucked up? And don't you think, internet, that it might be a slight overreaction to shoot her laptop repeatedly and then demand that she reimburse you for the property that you just destroyed? Emotional abuse is always okay now. You ever notice that? If this guy had taken off his belt and just smacked the fuck out of his daughter's ass like 20 or 30 times, the internet would be fucking furious. There would be angry mobs with pitchforks and torches outside his house, ready to fucking gut him like a fish. But since all he did was violate her privacy, undermine her social relationships, and grossly overreact to typical teenage rebellion as if this were something beyond the pale, but since all he did was that, he's fine. In fact, he's a fucking hero. He's awesome. He should be parent of the fucking year. Right? Now, on the other hand, I don't know much about the values of this man and his particular family. Maybe within the context of the value system of those people and their social circle and their in-group, maybe within that context what she did was a lot worse than what it looks like to me as an outsider who obviously has a very different value system. So I should give that guy the benefit of the doubt. But who wants to bet right now that that girl who got her laptop shot up by daddy is gonna be one of these very same girls that one day wants to get beaten up by Chris Brown? I fucking bet you. You know what's really funny to me? Everyone thinks that they're right. And I don't mean right as in correct. I mean, I partially do. But what I mean is everyone thinks that they're morally right. For instance, Chris Brown probably thinks that he's morally right. He thinks to himself, you know, I put the past behind me. I'm a human being. I make mistakes. I'm going to move on. And anyone who doesn't like it can go fuck themselves. And that's the right attitude. And then the people who forgive them probably think that they're right because they're forgiving. They're not holding someone's mistakes against them. They're saying, you know what? We all have darkness in us. We all have the capacity for moments of evil. We're all capable of despicable things. It's not right to hold that against him. And then the people who condemn him think that they're right because they say to themselves, it's an injustice that we would forgive this man who did this terrible thing. I will not stand for it. I will hold him accountable till the day he dies because that's the right thing to do. And then the guy who shot his daughter's laptop, he thinks he's right. He thinks that what he did was tough love, that he's setting his daughter on the straight and narrow because he's a good dad. It was hard to do what he did, but he did it out of love for his daughter because he doesn't want to see her become some undisciplined wench, some little MTV whore. And the people who support him think that they're right. They think that today's kids are just too damned undisciplined. They're a bunch of spoiled brats, and it's about time someone put them in line. And the people who are against him think that they're right because what he did was the actions of a tyrant. It was entirely disproportionate to what the crime was. And I think I'm right by standing above it all and saying, ha ha, I look down upon all of you. All of you are fucking stupid. Well, maybe, just sometimes, we should entertain the possibility that we're fucking wrong. But I could be mistaken.